Okay, Rabbi, next question is this. We're coming up on the season of the holidays at the end of the year for the American traditions. Christmas has been brought up. It was mentioned a while back, probably about a month or so ago in an email, and it kept falling through the grids, I suppose. The question is a concern and needing some advice. How would you coach someone? Let's just say it's me, who I live in the same town as my mom and pop. Let's say that they know where I stand theologically, yet they continue to invite me over for Christmas and their festivals and put me in awkward situations when talking about their ornaments and such. How do I get around that? I mean, it's like, they're very persistent in trying to get me to compliment their decorations and to compliment the things that they do that are forbidden. So what would you say would be an easy out or just a way to explain that to someone in a situation like that?
Well, I think I just want to take a step out of the easy out and just take a step back of why this is significant, why is this important. Imagine, and I'm not speaking to you, William, but you, the viewer, you're married, and you discover that your spouse has photographs and love letters of your husband's ex-girlfriend. He's hidden away under the drawer. How would you feel if you discovered that he kept it? And not only that, how would you feel if when you asked him, why did you keep it? And he said, well, it was uncomfortable throwing away, and I feel really connected to her in some way. How would you feel then? You probably feel like you want to die. And how would you feel if your husband said, she's really attractive, isn't she? I mean, we're not together, but how would you feel? You probably feel like the lights in your life just went out, right? Or if you asked your wife about old photographs and love letters between her and her ex-boyfriend, how would you feel? You'd feel horrible, I don't think is the word. It would injure your marriage. It would injure any marriage. Maybe your marriage could survive that? Possibly, I don't know. It would certainly be catastrophic. The Torah says in Exodus chapter 23, verse 13, "V'chol asher amati aleichem tishameru." Everything that I've told you, guard it very carefully, Hashem says. Take it very, very seriously. Uv'shem Elohim acherim, and the name of other gods, loisaskiru. You should not remember them. It should not come up on your mind. V'lo yishoma al picha, and it should never be heard on your lips. The Torah says. Okay? So, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that everything I told you to guard, take it very, very seriously. Everything I said to you, guard it. And you notice the word Uv'chol asher omarti aleichem, everything that I had said to you, tishomeru. You must guard it very carefully. What does that mean, guard it? Why not follow it? Guard it means, like, if you had a big electrical system out there that you could touch, you could die, you'd put a big fence around that. You'd be very, very careful. It's not just that you wouldn't commit adultery, you wouldn't go to a strip club. I mean, it would just lead you straight into sin. So the Torah is saying that everything I have told you, this comes right after the Ten Commandments, guard it. That means fence around it. Watch this very, very carefully. And one other thing, I don't want you to remember the shape, even the name of other gods. Don't even remember it. It shouldn't come up in your mind. And if it is coming up on your mind, That means you need a doctor. You say, "Whoa, Hashem, something is wrong. I need help from you, Lord." It's like you're in the marital chamber. You're in your bedroom alone with your husband, and you're thinking of an ex-boyfriend. So I mean, that's why I'm saying what I'm saying to you. It really is not important what Tovia Singer has to say. Okay, all I can do is say, well, what does God have to say about this? So God says, everything I said to you, guard it very, very carefully. Number 2, v'shem elihim acherim, and the name of other gods, lo yisazkiru. Don't even ever remember that name. Wash yourself, touch nothing unclean, rise up, throw off the dust off your feet. So it's forbidden to even think about your ex. The Torah says, don't do this. Stay away from this. This is so destructive to the soul. Now, the moment you ask me, how do I pull this off? And then lo yishom al picha. Don't ever bring up your ex-boyfriend's name to me. I don't want to hear it. Never, ever. Lo yishom al picha. It's forbidden for it to be on your lips. Now, you're going to ask me now a question. My ex-boyfriend is having a birthday party. Do you mind if I go? Well, I'm just going to go. Can I just say it'll be easier? Are you insane? What do you think that would do to your marriage? It would destroy it. So you're not asking me what my opinion is. This is not the show about Tovia Singer's opinion. It's like what does God say? What does God think of this? It happens to be that the Christmas holiday, even many Christians recognize that it's an abomination. The Puritans considered it, said this was forbidden. They know. They will tell you. Yes, a Christian pastor. Was Jesus really born on December 20th? But almost all of them, unless you're, I don't know where, they of course will tell you this is not his birthday. They know it's the winter solstice. They know it's celebrating Sol Invictus. Sol Invictus is Latin for the unconquerable sun. Why did they use an evergreen tree? Why? Why do you think they use it? Because an evergreen tree the leaves never change color during the winter. They survive the long nights and the short days. This is sun worship. This is the motherlode of idolatry. And incidentally, Jeremiah very specifically, chapter 10, please read it for yourself. He warns us because Christianity invented nothing. It borrowed everything. It is a conflation. It uses a basic Jewish outline, meaning the history of creation, sure, but then it just theologically borrowed everything from the pagan world, used Jewish terminology, but in substance, it's all pagan. And Jeremiah says, don't do what the heathens do. What do? They look up at the sky for a star, for a sign in the heaven. And then what do they do next? Look it up for yourself. They go into the forest and they chop down a tree and they bring it into their home. They nail it down so it doesn't fall over and they deck it with gold and silver. Never do that. So number one is if you're watching the show, I presume you're not watching the show because you're interested in entertainment, but you want to know what does God think. So the answer is that, of course, even the Christians know that Christmas is based on a Christ Mass. I mean, what do you want? What more do you want? Even the Christians who know, and almost all of them know this, that December 25th, Christmas really becomes a firm celebration in the 4th century. It's celebrated earlier than that, but when Rome really didn't convert to Christianity. What I think you might be figuring, what you might have discovered at this point in the broadcast is that Christianity converted to Rome. And Sol Invictus was the god that Constantine worshipped. Even after his conversion to Christianity in 312, even after his victory in a very critical battle, even after after he converted to Christianity, because he believed that it was the Christian God that gave him the success in battle, he still was having coins minted with Sol Invictus on it after 312. So what you're doing is something that even Christians concede is thoroughly pagan. So what you should do, obviously it would be reckless for me to say, here is one answer for everyone. That would be a very bad idea, because each one of you have a very different circumstance. Very different situation that needs to be addressed. But what is important is, certainly it's forbidden to say, to remember, to think about it, to say, oh, this is such a nice Christmas tree. Oh, look at the Joe and Mary Lou's lawn. They have such pretty. I remember years ago, I used to live in Muncie, New York, which is all Jewish. There was this one non-Jew in the middle of Muncie. I'm not kidding. It was on Route 306. I'm going back 15 or 20 years ago. So there was one Christian in Muncie. Muncie is this little hamlet, like an hour north of New York City, which is all Orthodox. But there was this one Christian who did not want to sell his house. All the other Christians sold out. The prices were good. But one guy kept he was right in the middle of everything. And he had don't ask what he had on his whole lawn. His lawn was like Disney. He had the whole New Testament on his front lawn with things flying, with Marys going all over the place. Don't ask what was going on. And he actually, the Orange and Electric from Rockland County had to bring in special wiring for him. It's forbidden to do that. But in each case, a person should use wisdom and thought and how to present it in a way, because what usually is the case is that Christians know it's pagan, and Christians really don't want to be pagan. They're just raised with Christmas. And in fact, when I meet people who were Christians, they frequently tell me that the best memory as a Christian, the fondest memories they had were Christmas. But the reason those are fond memories had nothing to do with the birth of anybody. It has to do with the fact that family would get together and you get presents. Had nothing to do with happy birthday to no, that wasn't a part of it. That's the people. That midnight mass. That's a toughie. I've never heard it. People say I miss lobster, shrimp, and I miss the family get together part. But no one's going, I miss that midnight mass thing. Don't you miss that? I never heard anybody say that.
You're just cracking me up. That I have to be very careful because, but I do want to tell you, for the only time I ever went to a Catholic church for an actual service. I was very confused because I had never been to one. I'd never heard about them. I was quite amazed, however, at how traditional that they were, but I couldn't get over the idea of having that little bar. In fact, I used to make jokes about the whole process because I got more exercise in one mass setting than I pretty much did, the entire month of just normal day-to-day life. Get up, get down, get up, get down, kneel. And it's very reverent to them. And that's why I have to be careful not to mock it.
Realize that no Jew knows what you're talking about.
That's probably a good thing.
Because every Jew is going, oh, churches have a bar? I didn't know. You can order like a Chivas Regal or you could order.
I'll have to clarify a kneeling
scotch or whatever they call these schnapps. So I just want you to warning that all the people who've never been to Christians going, really? Catholic churches have a bar? I didn't know. If I would know, maybe it would be different. So I didn't know they have a bar. So Because I'm going, because I haven't been to Catholic Church in Mincha in a long time. I've never been there, obviously. But I'm going, I used to go to church and there was a bar, and I'm going, really? They have like, no wonder. I said, no wonder the Catholic Church is the largest Christian denomination. They're serving McAllen 25.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא ועת נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה והוא הווה והוא יהיה